Escape room employees, what is the stupidest thing a customer has done to escape? Once a group disassembled a portable AC unit hoping to find a key. There wasn't any key. From that moment screwdriver were forbidden. But the best team I remember was the first team that ever played. We made a big, enormous, gigantic mistake. We forgot the entire detailed instructions inside the room. Right at the entrance on a table. They found it immediately. They started reading it. They clearly saw that every combination, every puzzle, every piece of history and every piece of furniture, but they didn't realize it was the complete walkthrough. And in some unknown way they failed to escape. I can answer this. One of our rooms has a bed in it with white sheets. There was this group who was in the room working on the last puzzle. A logic puzzle. There's a sheet of paper in the room that's full of facts about a murder that you're trying to solve. The group wasn't quite getting the puzzle, so I typed up the white sheet of paper in room 3 will be a lot of help. So the group runs into the room and starts tearing all the white sheets off the bed, and I type not the bed sheets, so they start pulling the pillows out of their sheets. I then reply the sheet you write on, and lo and behold they grab the room's marker and start drawing all over the bed sheets. They didn't escape. There was a very pregnant lady in the group. We asked her if she was at risk of going into labor at any time. But she said she was fine. We let her in. The entire group was getting upset because they weren't doing well. They were in the hardest room we have. It's always a big deal if you make it out. They kept asking me for the code they needed to escape. And I had to keep telling them I couldn't say what it was. They had to discover it. So pregnant lady took out the water bottle she had, turned around so she wasn't facing the camera, and poured some on the floor. She screamed that her water broke. And I needed to tell her the code so they could get out and go to the hospital. I guess she forgot we have cameras in several places in the room. And we saw exactly what she did. So I went into the room myself and explained that she was free to leave. I would just escort her out and the rest of the team could continue. She really thought that by having her water break, that was a free pass to get the escape code. Edit, a word. We played through this demonic themed escape room and the guy running it would speak as the voice of Vader through the PA system. He'd give us hints when we asked for them and would narrate story bits when appropriate. At one point there's a little fountain that pours out holy water. There's a little bottle to collect the holy water. But they only trigger the fountain enough for us to get a little holy water in the bottle. Then we're supposed to figure out we need to drip some holy water into a small hole in a box. Instead we tried dousing the holy water on just about everything else in the room. Nothing's working. Then my girlfriend's brother says, "Oh, maybe we have to drink it." And he chugs the rest of the holy water. The voice of Vade jumps in and says, "Do not waste the holy water." I run a tech camp thing for junior high aged kids and we have them do an escape room puzzle. Basically the box in the middle of the table has 5 locks. One for each puzzle. That has its own colored ring attached to it. Once you solve a combination, you bring the ring to the game master and you get the next puzzle. Simple enough, right? Never have I seen anybody do this in the 2 years we have done this puzzle for both kids and teachers. But one kid this year managed to unsnap a ring from one of the locks and picked every single one of them and got the box open without solving a single puzzle. I have both hosted games and managed escape rooms. I have seen it all. People who cheat and bring in tools. People who physically break objects and play dumb when confronted. Yelling matches. People on drugs. But the worst are the bad parents. The dumbest people were always the dads or moms of large families who took over the games from their children and didn't let them play or ignored them. Sometimes kids were just left unsupervised while mom and dad played alone. Guess they couldn't get a babysitter, but most of the time some really smart kids could see things the adults did not, and sure enough mom and dad ignored their input and got stuck overthinking everything. It was so satisfying to go in after they had lost and tell the parents they should have listened to the kids. The smiles from the kids made it so worth it and the parents couldn't do anything but pout. My friend thought the key was in this small wooden box and ended up getting mad and smashing it. There was no key. Just employees telling us to leave. Ho ho. Time to turn the tables. The stupidest thing I've ever seen in an escape room. The final challenge lock was a locked cabinet consisting of a coiled up bicycle lock. The problem was that the bicycle lock was basically just a big 3-foot loop, and they'd only run it through the handles of the cabinet once. So there was more than enough slack to simply open the cabinet. Within the first 5 minutes of the game, somebody in our group just walked up, opened the cabinet, and we were out. My friend runs a place with 4 escape rooms. One guy got frustrated in the last chamber and just started messing with wall panels, assuming they were all hidden doors. He ended up pushing one and finding that it seemed to have a little bit of give to it. It was definitely not a hidden door. He went straight through it and put a very large hole in the wall. My friend and I had plans that night and he flaked on me because he had to fix the wall. Duck the guy that broke through it. The room had electronic components, so there were electric wires that were tied down but looped around the room. One Friday night, someone tried licking them, just in case. We created an escape room for our library, and one of the decorative props was a potted plant, and proceeded to pull the entire plant out, roots and all. There was dirt all over the floor and the poor plant was in shambles. In their defense, the theme of the room was Harry Potter, so they probably were thinking it was a man rake, in which case they should have used fuzzy pink earmuffs. Thankfully the plant was needing to be repotted anyway, so my co-workers and I split it up and took them home. My little piece is doing great. Not a customer, but a burglar broke into our escape room to rob it and got trapped inside. Saw it on Reddit. Not quite. The burglar broke in, saw the rooms, in particular one that looks like a serial killer's hideout with a dead body. He panicked and called 911 from the lobby. AskTechnica.com. Obligatory, not an employee, but many months ago my friends and I did an escape room. It was a King Arthur style room, and at one point you get a sword by lining up a group of statues. You were supposed to stick the sword in this device in the center of the room. However, we were having so much fun swinging it around we didn't realize that. Not an employee but a player. I was working a puzzle on my own on one side of the room, and this tiki torch looking thing keeps falling down while I'm working on something else. I keep picking back up so it's not in the way. Finally I get frustrated and slam it into this wooden stand with a hole in it. It makes a loud bang and part of the stand comes off. I think I've ducking broken it and quickly put the piece back into place and go back to my puzzle. Of course it was supposed to open, and there was a clue inside. We failed the room. I don't know how reliable this is, but my friend said that he once saw a guy bring a hammer in and just start breaking sheet when his group couldn't figure it out. Not an employee, but I often ask employees about any odd rules they have. This one room part of the goal was to identify the murderer. Also relevant as the story location was Tokyo. There was a Bluetooth lock on one of the doors, and so there was also a phone. It being a murder, the escapees thought to call 911. The staff was smart enough to remove the SIM card, but didn't realize you can always call 911. So they connect to the real emergency services. The operator gets a call that they think is a legit emergency and the escapees assume that it connect to the game master. Everyone was very confused when they said there was a murder in Tokyo and the operator says that's on another continent. Why are you calling me? I went to one last year and the organizers were giving us the rules beforehand, including things like don't pull up the carpet, don't dismantle any electric devices, etc. We were laughing that people would even think of doing that, and then they told us that wasn't the worst of it. The rooms were in an old tenement building with fireplaces. Apparently one guy in the past was positive there was a clue hidden behind the old boarded up fireplace, so he managed to break through and climb up the shaft all before staff could intervene. They had to call the fire brigade cause the guy got lost in the maze of shafts. Was going through one and my girlfriend brute forced a 4-number padlock in about 3 tries. What I've been told by my room operator friends. Don't brute force the padlocks. You'll take the puzzles in the wrong order, which will be confusing as hell, and the operator isn't going to fix that for you because you had to go and brute force a padlock. This one was a 6 padlock thing that could be done in any order for that portion, so it was alright. TBH, she was the only reason we finished. We had like 6 minutes left when we finished. Worked a zombie themed escape room within a haunted house where you had to find the cure before your time ran out and you became a zombie. On part of the haunted house is a locker room type deal, and you have to walk through the stalls to open up into the room itself. Girl finds the cure in a toilet tank. Gets so excited she football spikes the tank lid. Lid of course shatters. And we get less than 5 minutes of reset to clean up her mess before the next group comes in and shreds themselves to ribbons. Good times. The first time I did an escape room, the setup was that this little girl had died and was haunting her old bedroom. The guy giving us instructions literally had to tell us, if you happen to have a knife on you, please do not stab the bed. Apparently a former patron had ripped the mattress open with a switchblade to look for clues. Not an employee but went as a group. One of the guys in my group only had one hand. The other ends halfway from his elbow to his wrist. The scenario starts with everyone being handcuffed to a bench. Obviously he couldn't be completely handcuffed. So while everyone else was solving how to get out of the handcuffs, he used his nub to solve other portions he could reach, such as a locked desk. Not an employee but my brother thought if we hit a locked desk hard enough it would open and give us a key. Not an escape room employee but I have friends who are. The best story I ever heard was of a group who were chained to a radiator in a saw-like fashion. Instead of getting the key to the cuffs, the group disassembled the radiator somehow. They hit the emergency button 15 minutes later saying that the water is running awfully high. To which the operator replied, "What water?" My girlfriend used to act in an escape room and it was the worst job ever. She played a zombie chained to a wall in one room and her makeup was very realistic. I actually went through it when she was acting before we started dating, but people would treat her like a not real person. She was punched several times, hit with thrown objects, and someone said to her face that he wanted to titty duck the zombie. People act dumb as hell in escape rooms. There are a pair of footstools in one of our rooms that we mention in our intros are there for you to sit on or use as a table. And that there are no clues in them, so please don't take them apart looking for clues. I began adding the phrase "we can't afford another set" as a joke the first time we had to replace them from someone not listening. I now say we can't afford a 5th set. I can flip this one. There was a giant box with a key hanging from a hook inside, and a stick long enough to go into the box and remove the key. I tried, but the key dropped to the floor. So I used the stick to knock out all from under the box, and it skated under a dresser that was bolted to the ground. We couldn't get it out. Couldn't move the dresser. Stick wouldn't fit. So we called for help. Employees spent 10 minutes trying to get it. Finally gave up. Didn't give us extra time or tell us what the key went to. Obviously didn't escape. And after reading everyone else's response, I'm convinced our escape rooms are shit. Not our employee but went with my cousin and his GF. His GF had a idiot friend and her giant of a dumbus boyfriend. Spent 20 minutes trying to get out of the first jail cells because it was split into boys and girls. We asked them what was in there and they said nothing. Apparently they didn't think a broom which could reach the key just out of reach was useful. We failed hard. I'm on my office's party planner committee and a while back we considered going to an escape room for an office party. My co-worker casually let it slip that he was no longer welcome at the escape rooms in our greater metropolitan area. Turns out he kept taking doors off the hinges and breaking them because no one said it was against the rules. Not stupid in the conventional way, but I worked at an escape room location that had 4 rooms. One of which had 2 rooms in one room, and we would laugh when a group picks that room. Well, a co-worker and I were told to do it by our manager, and it took us an hour and a half to get out. Keep in mind the time limit is 1 hour and we actually knew what to do and still couldn't finish it. It just didn't make sense to us to have that room available, but people still chose it nevertheless. Not an employee, but we were doing an escape room where they split you up into two groups and the groups are in different rooms and they need to communicate with each other with walkie-talkies. The other group picked a lock to open a box and gave us a code they found in the box, which made us completely skip one section of the room. Miso and I once went to our escape room. In the first room we completed it and moved into the second room where we found a bucket of mystery keys. After spending a majority of our allocated time trying to figure out what these keys are for, I went for a Hail Mary and tried them on the final door lock. It unlocks and I stick my head out like there are still all of the puzzles in the room which we haven't even touched and we're out. I turned to Miso and said, I think they left the room keys in here. She agreed. We both agreed to finish the room legitimately, and at the end of it all the woman from the front desk came to congratulate us. We then asked what's with the bucket of stuff and mystery keys. Turn out she had left everything to Rosita room in that bucket, including all the keys. 10 out of 10 would cheat at her escape room again. Not an employee, but the only escape room I did was myself, my fiance, and most of his close family, 10 plus people, and basically right at the end we were supposed to throw bean bags at a carnival style game and we just were standing there arguing about it and what we needed to do next. Our game master, out of nowhere, just goes throw the damn bean bags. We still made it out in time though. I'm not an employee, but a few months ago, my sister, her boyfriend, her boyfriend's brother, and I were at an escape room that had demonic and supernatural themes, where we were paranormal investigators, when a bookcase suddenly opened to reveal a hidden second room. My sister grabbed the prop salt and brought it in with her, ready to make a circle just in case. The employees were very impressed with how in character we were. Guys, what isn't nearly as hot attractive as many girls think? Being as orange as you can possibly get without getting skin cancer. TBF, orange is the color you turn when you choose the non-cancerous option. Actual tanning makes you a normal brownish color. IDK if they necessarily think it's hot. But girls who are going out of their way to draw attention to themselves via being loud or acting crazy has always been an automatic turn off for me. I'm in my 30s now and find groups of teenage early 20s girls to be some of the most annoying human beings on earth. Shaved off and then drawn on eyebrows. I saw a girl today that was really pretty apart from these super thick rectangles drawn on above her eyes with what looked like Sharpie. I told one that her eyebrows were drawn on too high. She looked surprised. Acting stupid when you're really not. Oddly enough, my mom does this. I'm a girl, she seems to think it's cute or funny that she's utterly clueless and pretty much doesn't know how to do anything. I can't stand it. Female here. My mother does this stingy southern thing. It drives me absolutely insane. Especially because she is actually really intelligent, competitive and successful. My sister and I can barely stand to be around her when she starts this sheet. Filing police reports against me. It screams desperate for attention. I scream. You scream. The police come. It's awkward. Whatever the duck girls get done to their lips to make them puffy. I realize it's your body and you can modify it how you want. But you were a lot prettier before it looked like you were having an allergic reaction. My former friend always loved my fuller lips. And one day she comes into class and says, "Notice anything new?" and I'm like dumbfounded. And reply, "Oh. New earrings?" which she replies, after having a shocked look in her face, "No. I got my lips done, duck lips." I swear to God it looked like someone took small marbles and randomly shoved it in her lips. I was like, oh. Nice. Not long nails, fake nails. They are in no way attractive. Don't know why they caught on. Edit, I get it. Some girls like them. I understood it 30 notifications ago. Laughing at everything. I feel good when you laugh at my corny jokes. When you laugh at a random factoid. Or a story that isn't a joke. It makes me realize you may have not gotten most of my jokes. So then I tell a joke that in no way, shape or form is funny. And if you laugh at that, I know you're just laughing to be nice. Not because I'm funny. So now I feel self-conscious for telling you joke. Or something. It's just weird. Dear God, the Snapchat filters. All it shows me is that you're trying to mask how you really look. Especially when you're using it on dating apps. It's not even about masking how you look. It's just tremendously unattractive. If I wanted to date someone with cat ears, I would date a cat. Dog face filter. Nails. Tons of makeup while wearing dresses and high heels until I was single again after so long. I don't mind the girl getting dressed up. But damn, a hoodie and messy ponytail is just as hot. Impracticality. Oh. You're wearing 6-inch heels? Well. I did actually want to go somewhere tonight. But I guess I can just wait here while you spend 5 minutes struggling to cross the room without breaking your neck. Yeah. I think that depends on the woman. Like. If I am going somewhere, I'll usually wear nice flats or wedges. However, my sister has a SJP thing going on and could run a marathon in heels. If you're the latter and can keep up, wear your 6-inch spikes. But for people like me who struggle in kitten heels, well, heels don't look good unless you can walk in them without looking like you have taken a dump in your underwear. Any kind of helplessness, or an inability to keep their head in a crisis, or eyes to an occasion. The sexiest thing a woman can be is sensible. When they act ditzy trying to be cute. TBH. You just look retarded and it makes me think you're retarded. You don't call retarded people retards. It's bad taste. You call your friends retards when they're acting retarded. Makeup for sure. There's a line between touch-ups and straight-up clown. One that is crossed far too often. My girlfriend put on way too much makeup with bright red lipstick. I said, why are you so serious? She wasn't pleased. Wearing revealing clothing in late fall and winter. I'm not thinking that girl is pretty. I want to give her the 6. I'm thinking it's cold as hell. Why don't you have long pants or a coat on? You'll freeze. So, you don't want a girl with a short skirt and a long jacket? Damn. I know someone that's got a bone to pick with you. Those ridiculously drawn on eyebrows. Who the hell told you to draw a wave over your eye? Smoking cigarettes. Opposite for me. I dig the aesthetic. Like. Duck your college aged art hoe standing on the sidewalk in the city. Let's share a cigarette. Fake bobs. Not all of them are created equal. I don't mind the size appropriate ones. But it is not attracted to some petite woman with fake DDs that look like someone stuck 2 coconuts in there. Constantly taking pictures of yourself. Oversized cloud sunglasses. You mean cloud goggles. Bragging about shit like I'm such a rich or I don't care about anyone. First of all, it's almost never true. And second, being a rich and or not caring is insanely unattractive. When girls think it's all about bobs and long pretty hair and veggies for me. You know? Like don't be afraid to have short hair and a beard and a pen 15 and oh shit the bullies were right. Not sure if it is done to feel wanted attractive. But everyone who has that itchy attitude. I've met some women who just belittle everything and everyone. Everything sucks because obviously they are so above it. Everyone else is obviously stupid. So they try their best to show off how smart they are by picking for any teeny weeny mistakes. Just because you post snarky comments on Facebook you don't have to flush out every spark of positivity out your life to be that edgy girl who's just such a character. A lady asked me to meet her at 9 PM at the local large and 2-story bar. I get there and no response. I look around for 10 minutes. Shoot a text and wait patiently. 25 minutes go by and the thought occurs to me that I have been ditched. IDK about you but that sheet is not attractive at all. Edit, shorthand for people who are taking this out of context. Playing hard to get is only attractive for so long. My friend's girlfriend says he can't play on his PC once she goes to bed. I can't think of anything I hate more than her. When a girl takes the hat off my head and puts it on herself. I know you think you're being cute and flirty. But in reality you've just taken the only part of my outfit I've put thought into and revealed my matted hat hair to the world. Don't touch my stuff. I found out that many girls think the helpless act is sexy, but personally I don't find it very attractive at all. Makes me feel as if I'm taking care of a child or that I'm dating someone that is codependent. Self-eyes. The fact that she's so self-obsessed is a turn off. No matter how much she filters her face and searches for best angles. This thread seems to be a lot of the same things so far. Makeup, duck face and playing hard to get. Would like to see how it'd compare to the same question being asked to females. I don't think I've ever looked at a girl and thought she doesn't have enough makeup on, but the same can't be said for too much makeup. Less is more. Sometimes drawn on eyebrows can look good. But a lot of the time I'd much rather just see natural eyebrows. Acting like you're better than the people around you just because you're dressed better or a customer or whatever. Trust me. As a service guy. As soon as a cute girl gives someone else a dirty look or a shitty remark for trying to do their job, I'm completely done with whatever you have to offer. There is this stupid girl in my math class that is obviously always hitting on our professor, and it's super cringy. Forcing us to overwork just to hang out to see how invested we are. It's so obvious and there is too many options out there now. Any smart guy will just take our sheet elsewhere. When a female hangs all over another guy to make you jealous. I have had multiple women do this. It never attracts me. I may be jealous initially, but my interest quickly disappears. Girls browsing this thread, your mileage will vary. Men don't all hold one unified opinion any more than women all do. Some of us like big old muscled gals. Some of us like chubsters. Some of us like a shiny bald head and smooth face. Others like scruffy hair. Some of us like confidence like cats. Others like shy, kind-hearted saps. Some have no interest in your shopping sprees and your gossip. Some of us want to talk all about how you can't believe Sarah got back together with Jake. Keep looking till you find someone who appreciates you for who you are. Acting like you don't know what anything is because helplessness is cute, I guess. Anything resembling a princess attitude. I'm not a walking bank account. Seriously, just act like a normal human being. I'm not going to date someone I couldn't also just be friends with. Disclaimer, I spent a lot of time growing up in a pretty Christian area, so most of the girls I knew then were basically conditioned to be helpless and subordinate. And as a result I hate that bullshit. Just dropping signals instead of initiating. It's 2017. It's the best compliment I could ever get. Acting wasted to make me think they are fun to be around. Or the constant posts about whiskey and cowboy boots on social media because she is impersonating the girl from a Luke Bryan song. I live in a densely populated city and I take a lot of public transport where I may be forced to stand in someone else's personal space. I have noticed lately that there are many women wearing what kind of smells like cheap cotton candy perfume. I don't know if that's the hip new designer scent or something, but it is awful. Sometimes it's so bad I can smell it across the train. So please ladies, turn it down a little bit. I don't want to taste your perfume on my morning commute. I know it's not at all an act for some women. But the whole scared of dirt, you outdoors attitude is shit. I like a woman I can take camping. Yeah. I wanna be manly and do most of the work. But I can't turn a dirt floor into hardwood, and that's the point of being there. Dirt washes off and the smell of campfire smoke for days after is better than perfume anyway.